Hey everybody, it's Ansel and we're back. Today we'll be taking a look at the Akko 3098B in the Prunus Lannesiana colorway. It's a great budget board sent to me out from Akko, so while this was free for me, I'll give you my 100% genuine thoughts. So let's get right onto it. It costs roughly $100 on their website, and it's a budget board. Akko did tell me that this was supposed to be a really good board right out of the box, but if the buyer so chooses, the board is flexible enough to allow them to do a lot of upgrades down the line. Now with that being said, let's get into why I think that and why I think this is overall a great board, especially for all you work from home people. So the layout of this board is known as 95%, or more commonly 1800. This gives it all the functionality of a full-size keyboard while staying compact. As you can see, it still maintains the numpad, the F keys, and the nav cluster, but it's just a slightly different layout. But it has all the different functionalities that I think a lot of you would be looking for if you're looking for a work from home keyboard. You can connect it to a Mac or Windows PC using Bluetooth 5.0, or you can use a 2.4 GHz dongle, which I prefer because it's simple, and I think it might have a little bit less input lag, but we'll get into that later. You can also use it via USB-C when you want to charge it, or if you just don't want to use it ever as a wireless board. If you don't want to use it wired or you want to charge it, you can just use the USB-C cable, which is included in the box, and it has a 3000 milliamp battery if you do want to use it wireless. So far it's lasted me several days and I haven't charged it yet, but at the same time I've turned off all the lighting. The board also automatically goes to sleep after not using it for a short period of time to save battery. All you have to do to wake it up is press a few random keys. Now regarding the 2.4 GHz I mentioned earlier, I didn't use 5.0 very much just because 2.4 was a lot more simple to use, but I'm pretty sure you wouldn't really notice any input lag. I even used the 2.4 GHz a lot during gaming and didn't really notice any lag, but then again, I'm not super competitive. Moving on, the board is also Hotswap. It uses TTC gaming sockets which claim up to 2000 swaps per cycles. The Hotswap sockets are also 5-pin compatible, the only bummer being that they are north-facing sockets. Now even though I don't like this, it's really not a big deal because the included keycaps aren't cherry, which means you won't really get any of that home row interference. However, if you do want to use cherry profile keycaps, this will become an issue. Now the switches that it comes with are vintage whites. These are fairly smooth stock, just a tiny bit scratchy, but that's fine, they'll clean up very well with lube. And what's cool is you don't need to film these like KTT roses or any of the other Akko switches, so that's really nice. The board also comes with a keycap puller, although I would have loved to see it come with a switch puller. And finally, the board has some really good RGB with lots of effects. Now I kept it turned off because I really don't care about the lighting, but if you do like RGB, there's a ton going on here for you. Now moving on to the keycaps, these are double shot PBT. I love them. They're super pretty and they have a really nice pleasing aesthetic that I think most people appreciate. The legends are super sharp, and while there are some slight alignment issues with the legends, it really isn't that bad when you consider the price. The texture, however, is a bit rougher than I personally like. I like a very smooth or tacky texture, and this just isn't it for me. However, this is my own personal preference and you might actually like that. The profile itself is very pleasing to type on and I got used to it quickly. I actually really like it. The board comes with a couple extra accent keys that I personally am using and I also like these as well. And the included plate mount stabs are actually really good. I barely had any ticking on mine and I don't think you will either. And if there is any ticking down the line, I can easily fix that because they are plate mount stabs. As for the typing degree, I don't really know what it is, but it's fairly comfortable and you could adjust it using the included feet. And Akko did claim that there was some noise reduction foam installed, and while the board is still a bit hollow, it's not nearly as hollow as something like a GK61, which is really nice. You could always go in here and add some more if you like as well. Now the case itself, in terms of build quality, it is plastic. It doesn't feel cheap, but it doesn't feel particularly premium either. But honestly, in terms of design, there's really nothing to write home about. Now we're going to move on to sound, but before I give you my thoughts, here's the sound test itself. Now, it's very nice, it's deep, but a bit hollow. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I'm too lazy to fix it myself, but you could fix that if you want. But I think for most people, it's fairly pleasing. It doesn't sound bad by any means. It's just not particularly good. Now, as for the typing experience itself, it's stiff and harsh, but it's not, I don't know, it's not my thing. I don't even think that people buying this board will really care that it's stiff. If anything, they might like it. And it's not a bad typing experience. It's just preference. Now, after all of that is said and done, do I recommend this board? Yeah, absolutely. I think think it has a very specific demographic, but if that demographic is you, someone that needs a numpad, the function keys, wireless connectivity, then yeah, go for this board. Or maybe you're just looking for something more premium, don't go for it. But otherwise, it's still a really good board, great for the price, and I totally recommend it. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it, and hope to see you next time. Peace.